The fact that everybody that's a suspect, all 9 of them, is literally either brother, cousin, or they was in the same group together, the street group together when they was growing up. And every one of them is going to come back to a tie with either Black Youngster, Big Jug, or Yo Gotti. And if you don't know who Big Jug is that's Yo Gotti brother. And the reason Big Jug even is a thing is because Yo Gotti, when he stopped the street, like when he stopped being a person who stands in the streets front line, he made his brother Big Jug step in line for that. And the fact that they connected and that TZ connected to him too, and the Trula people, mean that it's a CMG Trula connection, like whole case. That's a Rico waiting to happen.
With the Rico case, you have to look at it. They're gonna line everyone up, everyone that they even think that's involved for whatever they did. I guarantee you, they're gonna catch every single person in this case, and it's somebody's telling. A lot of people saying Pushashti's telling, but you have to look at the fact that it's a lot of people involved in it. So a lot of people been prosecuted about it. A lot of people still awaiting trial. You have to look at the fact that Young Dolph, the only reason why he was involved with the Trula gang is for the simple fact that he was trying to sign people to PRE. And the only reason that PRE didn't sign those people is because Yo Gotti had ties to these people. So you have to look at the fact that you have to be cautious of who you bring in your circle.
And hey, if you're not cautious who you bring in your circle, you got people that could backstab you or put you in harm's way or make the wrong decisions for you. And that's why it's important to have the right type of people in your circle, because you need to know the right type of people you're associating with. You need to know who has your back and who doesn't, and who's riding for you and who's not riding for you. You need to see like all the little loopholes and the ends and stuff, to get the bigger picture straight.
And the fact that the people who they thought was riding with them and stuff ended up telling on them and snitching, and the people who some thought was going to be protecting them and have their back ended up dropping locations and letting things slide because of old street type politics, basically. And straight drop in the other 5 dudes that was really right there, still got people on the outside who's covering up stuff for them, that's putting the paper trail and the paperwork all. They literally taking the paper trail that they left of everything they did that day and making it harder for them to figure it out. That way they can only rely on when they ask them the questions at the interrogation.
And that puts a lot of people at harm's way, because a lot of people is affected by what's going on with straight drop. And you have to look at it. Young Dolph liked the straight drop. He was cool with him until they snaked him. That's why he say do not trust like a group of people. If you know you have a label and you got a guy you finna sign, you know for a fact you're not finna put him and his whole team on, because that'll take away from the business and it'll make it an asset to the company. Because if one person out of straight drop crew do something, it'll affect PRE. That's why Dolph didn't sign them.
Exactly. And all this really stems from way back when Dolph wanted to go his own route. Yo Gotti and them got mad because they couldn't sign him. Because if they would have signed him, imagine what Memphis would be like today. It would be CMG owning all of the people that's coming out of Memphis. It's a lot of energy in Memphis. And when you take Memphis and the words and you put them to numbers and everything, it comes up crazy. It's tied to a lot of stuff. That's why people can tap into the energy and end up being superstars, or they're gonna end up tapping into a different kind of energy and wreaking havoc and trying to take a lot of power and control and greed. So if you got to pay attention closely to how these people are trying to get what they want, and is a lot of greed. They'll step over anybody to get it, what they wanted to get. They'll basically step on your toes too, even if they your friends. You grow up with them, but remember, the team that they were loyal to from the beginning is something that they might end up going back to. So that's something you got to keep in mind. A lot of times when people done came into some group early in their life, you don't know, due to the fact that right after everything happened, Lil Migo called Lil Mike to tell him, and he was happy about everything. And Yo Gotti gassed them all up. The fact that they did that, man, it was like 10 seconds after that. And, and now it's just rest in peace to Dolph, and they got to get the ringleader, they got to get Black Youngster and them, they got to get Yo Gotti, and you just got to wake up. Everybody got to wake up, people, and just see the fact that it was Dolph who was going to be taking over Memphis, and his paper route who was going to be the long-lasting thing. And CMG, Trula, they just gave it a one last chance to try to make something happen, pull off, so that they could stay in control.
Like, it's like nobody talking about why was the money took out the car. Like, ain't nobody talking about the money that was took out of the car. Like, that's the most important thing in this whole Young Dolph case. You have to look at the fact that, man, who was in town when this happened? Who was in town? Like, ain't nobody questioning that. Who was in town?
And Young Dolph got an oil change 2 days before that, and the mechanic said there is 5 cameras in it, and it's his job to clean them off, make sure it's not blurry or no dirt is on the lenses. So look, he said when he changed the oil, it was brown, and the cameras worked all perfectly. So he said it should be no doubt that they caught everything on footage, because he said he sat in the car himself and he would be able to see as far as you want for the camera. And once you got the footage, you can zoom in into the cookie shop and see that door. And when Marie slammed that door shut, you're going to see it on the Corvette camera.